G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping straight into Little Cup and in rank 5, so I'm going to just slightly change my team. Just one change every game and see what works out best for me. So Chinchou on the lead into Shelmet. So Chinchou running Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt there. And the reason for that is Bubble Beam obviously is going to debuff, and then Thunderbolt to do a little bit more damage. So got the shield there, which is really good. Shelmet is going to be running Infestation, Body Slam, and probably Bug Buzz. So there's the Body Slam, so it doesn't do too much damage after the debuff, and we'll see if we can grab another shield. So going to throw the Bubble Beam, so no shield there, as you can see, does absolutely no damage. So you really want to get that shield bait. So going to charge up just a little bit more and throw the Thunderbolt. So at this point I probably should have thrown the Bubble Beam, and then I would have had that little bit of extra energy. That would have been enough to KO at that range had they decided not to shield. Able to charge down. Out comes the Slowpoke, and the question is, what do I go into? So go into the Dino, and the reason for that is obviously it's dark typing, like heavily resists the any psychic damage, and happy days, I'm able to charge it down. So out comes their own Dino, and they're able to farm me down. I'm going to come into my own Bronzor here, and because I'm not running two moves, this is actually going to be a lot closer than I would like. So had I been running Heavy Slam as well, that would have been KO'd from that, and it would have been much cleaner. Still was able to just get the win there. So with the first game done and dusted, so going to swap out. So I'm going to have a look at my little things. So going to swap out. Leave Chinchou on the lead, and the reason for that, and then swap out the Bronzor for Wynot. So Wynot only has one charge move, so if you want to save on Dust, throw in Wynot, and you won't have to give it a second move because it does not have one. So again, I'm going to go straight into the Bubble Beam, and I was lucky enough to grab a shield there, so that's really, really nice. Togepi running the Ancient Power, so not going to do huge amounts of damage, so that's all good. I'm going to throw the Thunderbolt now, no shield, and took it out. So looking really, really good for me so far. Going to throw straight into another Bubble Beam. Unfortunately, didn't grab their second shield, and they've quit the game. So probably not a good game for showcasing. Why not? Because, well, we didn't get past my opening Pokemon, so I'm going to still change it up. I might go back to that team at some point just to see how much play it actually has, because obviously that was not a good example. So going to throw in Drifloon instead of Dino there, and the reason for that again is more because it has access to Icy Wind, and that's going to cause huge amounts of problem for any Dinos that I come up against, and again it debuffs. Gotta love a good debuff. Throwing the Psychic move there, so throwing Psyshock after our debuffs, as you can see, doesn't do huge amounts of damage, but this is actually a losing matchup, so they do take me out there, both two shields there. So going to look to bring out the Wynot here. Not going to shield this up. Wynot is an absolute tank, so we'll be able to tank these moves. Going to look to fully farm down with the Wynot, although it is going to have to take a few moves, and then going to swap into the Drifloon to get a little bit of a head start on energy. So out comes their Cottony, and so this is really good for Cottony as well. If it does connect, it will do a huge amount of damage, so really, really good there. Unfortunately, they have decided to shield up once and then let it go for the second one, so that's really interesting. So Cottony's going to come through Going to throw Seed Bomb, going to do a reasonable amount of damage, and then they've decided to swap out into the Perleon, and we'll see how we go. So they do have the Night Slash, and Night Slash is going to do all sorts of damage to me. Obviously, with only a single move on Why not able to get anything else, the Mirror Coat is going to do absolutely nothing, and then this Night Slash is going to be able to, well, didn't quite take me out. Why Not is a little bit tankier than most in this league, but they're going to be able to fast move farm me down at the same time as I do, but obviously they had the Cottony in the back there, so able to take that game pretty well in the end there for them. So jumping into the next one, again, swapped it up a little bit, and we'll see how we go. So on the lead here, so again, Chinchou on the lead, and going to be leading into a Drifloon, which is really interesting there. Expecting them to throw an Icy Wind here straight away, which obviously, there you go, they do. So that's fine. We'll go straight for the Thunderbolt here. Let's see what they want to do. I don't expect them to shield, but they did, unfortunately, so that's really bad. Get to the second Thunderbolt really, really quickly, and we'll throw that. We'll see if they want to double shield. So they've double shielded. So double shielded the Drifloon, which is really bad for me, because would have really liked to be able to throw some energy. So going to now swap into my own Drifloon and get a little bit of a head start on energy. Out comes a Vulpix. So this is really good. Shields are down, so this is going to be resisted, but obviously it's going to add up because they have no shields. The question is here, do I shield or do I let this go? So I'm going to shield this up. I'm going to over farm by just one little fast move there, and then throw the Icy Wind and take it out. So out comes the Nincada, and it's going to be doing really, really well against my Dino here. However, because I've got a Body Slam saved, it does do a little bit of damage, and they threw the Night Slash. Big mistake there. 100% needed to throw the Bug Buzz. Obviously, Bug Buzz takes a lot more damage. And there's some games there. So jumping into rank 6. So as you can see, you can swap it up a little bit. Keep a solid core. And it does allow for a little bit different games. And we'll jump into a more standard meta team here. So Chinchou on the lead, and we know how this plays out. Not well for me. So you will get to the Bubble Beam just before they can throw the Psyshock. So you want to throw that straight away and debuff there. They're going to throw the Psyshock. I'm going to shield up. So unfortunately, they did not shield up the first Bubble Beam, which is really unfortunate for me because I do want to grab a shield. So they're haven't shielded up the second one either, so looking really bad for me. So able to debuff that thing twice, but seriously, the still able to get to its charge moves and really chunk away. And then they've decided to use a shield, and it is when I've finally decided to use the Thunderbolt. So really good shield on their part, so absolutely perfect on them and choosing not to shield. And then on the first two, and then going for that shield in the second one. So as you can see, I've put double moves on this because, like I said in the last video, there were some instances of games I was losing games because I didn't have the double moves. So one of the most important moves is if you're running Dino to run the double move, so you have Crunch on it, because Crunch obviously flips this matchup. So if you have Dino matched up with Bronzor, you need to have Crunch or you will not be winning that matchup. So here I'm just trying to farm up as much energy as possible. It's been debuffed twice, so I just want to farm up as much energy as possible and be able to throw on whatever comes out next. So here it is, here's the Dino. So because I've got so much energy saved, I'm expecting to grab a shield here, so I don't actually grab a shield, which is fine. I'm going to throw straight into the second one and see what they want to do. So they've not shielded that either, and there goes the Dino. So I'm going to come out with my own Dino because it's going to be absolutely useless against this thing, and then look to farm this all the way down because I'm not going to get to 2 charge moves, so there's no point throwing one, and I'm able to farm it down, leaving them a shield to spare, and that charm damage is resisted on Bronzor, so really, really good and really, really bad. So as you can see, the charm damage on the Dino absolutely destroyed it. So it's double super effective, and it just, yeah, you've got no chance. Dino against anything using charm, and you are stuffed. So for this game one, they're using, well, the little water fella, so we was hoping to grab a shield there, not able to do so, and they're able to get to a second drill peck here. So Piplup is going to do a reasonable amount of damage there. So I want to throw a second bubble beam because I'm hoping to grab a shield. I've still not grabbed a shield. Absolutely horrendous at this point. So they're obviously not going to shield that one up either. And it's at this point I either go down, and because it's been so debuffed, I'm actually able to charge it down at the same time, which isn't ideal either because I'm down a shield. I would have really liked to be able to throw a move on whatever comes in next. So obviously we switched in, and I had a good matchup. They switched in their charm user to try and take on my Dino, which would have absolutely destroyed it. And then out comes a my Bronzor to meet that because it's going to be super resistant. So Tepig comes back out to meet the Bronzor, and obviously the Bronzor is going to be getting absolutely wrecked by this thing. Got enough energy to throw 2 quick charge moves, looking to swap out as soon as possible, and then throw into my own charge move here to take this thing out. Not quite enough damage to take it out, but I do have a shield stored up. They've thrown the body slam, and then I'm able to fast move farm them down. So GG's right there. So the Piplup is a bit different at the start. Had I thrown a Thunderbolt, would have been a very different game. So really good on them not to shield that up and to let it go. So Cottony on the lead, so really bad for me, and I can't switch out here because if I switch out, I'm obviously only going to be able to switch out to Bronzor, and then they're going to swap out themselves. So instead here, I'm just going to throw the bubble beam, and if they don't throw their charge move, I'll get to 2 bubble beams. They're going to throw their charge move here, which is absolutely fine with me. I'll let that go and come out with the Bronzor. So let's see what they want to do. So out comes the Murkrow, and then I'm going to look to farm down. So I'm not going to shield this up because, so there's the foul play, and it does enough to take me out, which actually surprised me. I did think I would survive that. The reason I didn't want to shield that up is because if I shielded that up, they were just going to come out with the Cottony, and they would have absolutely just wrecked me, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything. I was hoping to be saved with a little bit of life, so I was able to come in and throw some energy on their Cottony when it came back in, and then it would have fainted me out, but was not able to do so. So in comes their own Dino here, able to get to a second heavy slam, and they shield that up and take me out with 2 shields left. Absolutely, yeah, brutal, absolutely brutal. So I mean, it is what it is. Getting that Cottony lead, it makes it really difficult to come back from because it is such a solid lead, especially when they switch straight out, which is the right play. So for this one, Onyx on the lead, and then they swap out into the Cottony. So absolutely love to see this swapped in because it does mean I can match up my Bronzor to it, which is perfect for me. So I'm going to let these charge moves come through because obviously it does next to no damage. And then I am not going to go for so I don't bother going for the heavy slam here. The reason I go for the Psyshocks is because, one, if I grab a shield, fine. If they don't shield it up, it's still going to take 2 charge moves to take it out. And it also saves me a little bit of energy there. So going to now throw a heavy slam here. And then look to swap out as soon as I can. So I was a little bit slow to that swap. And again, going to let this go because I do expect the Cottony to come back out to charge this down. So there's no point saving that up. It would have just absolutely wrecked it anyway. I'm going to come out with the Bronzor. At this point, I'm considering, do I shield? So I'm going to shield this up so I can look to farm this down. They're going to throw more of their energy, which is fine with me. Going to let it go, and then going to come in with the Chinchou, and the reason for that, going to throw that energy. They're down to no shield, and I've got a super effective charge move that will be able to do a lot of damage and debuff their attack, and then able to fast move farm down. So really good game right there. So really close one in the end, and that Cottony swap out. So maybe I should have shielded something up a little bit earlier, but I mean, it is what it is. Didn't want to be charged down by Onyx at the end. So out with the Dino, and then I'm able to swap in my own Dino and charge it down, which is really, really interesting. They come in with the Nincada, and it is not Nincada, so they come in with Shelmet, and going to be able to farm me down. So for this one, I'm going to come in with my own Bronzor, and the reason for that is because it's going to be resisting the body slams, and going to be only doing neutral damage for any of its bug typing. So going to let those body slams go through. Let's see what they want to do. So going to overfarm a little bit and then throw the Psyshock. Didn't get a shield, which is surprising, and still not shielding up. Really going to let them go to absolute town. I'm going to look to farm down. Unfortunately, they're able to get to another charge move, so it is just going to be the body slam, and it does put me in the yellow, which is not ideal. So now they're coming with their own Bronzor, so this is absolutely fine with me. Going to just absolutely debuff this thing. So to really solidify my win here, going to be able to throw a second Bubble Beam before they're able to get to a charge move, and they're trying to save up a lot of energy. So here I'm going to shield this up because the bubbles are going to do a lot more damage. So Chinchou's fast move is going to do a lot more damage than Bronzor's, and I'm able to get to another bubble. I'm really wanting to try and grab this last shield from it, and considering, do I shield up myself? So I am going to shield up myself here. At this point, I don't think I'm going to get to a Thunder Shock, so I'm going to throw another bubble. So they're going to let that go, and now I've got a double Side Strike saved up. Expect to get the shield, and then we'll be able to get another one through. They know that that's good game, so leave it right there. So really good matchups there in rank 6, I think that was, able to go 4-1. So as you can see, a bit of a solid team. One of the ones Pokemon I would really like to try is a Darumaka. I don't have one that's a low enough CP though, so I'm on the lookout to see if I can find one. So really good games there, and happy with that. So hopefully that was useful for someone. It was running a fairly meta team. Chinchou on the lead's a little bit different, but Bronzor and Dino definitely can't get much more meta than that. So able to go into rank 7, and hopefully we can continue to improve. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.